Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and I am so excited to see all of you guys here this evening. Hoping everybody is having a great start to your week. Today, well, we had a major snowstorm yesterday, and I'm sure a lot of you have been following the weather all over the country. It's been crazy. We had about 9 or 10 inches of snow here yesterday. It started on Saturday night, and we got, you know, everybody got dug out. Do you say dug out? Digged out? I don't know. Tom's looking at me. He's my English major, so I don't know. But everybody dug themselves out, and everybody's back in action again. It only takes a day in Wisconsin, but it's been crazy. And I've been following all of your weather all over the country, and I know some of you guys are snowed in. But tell the truth. Isn't it awesome to be snowed in and just have nothing to do but pouring a hot cup of coffee and getting crafty? That's what I love about snowstorms. So welcome to everybody who's joining us. I'm just waiting for everybody to get here. And tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun. We are going to play with the new master layouts for die set. Now today, I don't know what, I look like I just woke up. I've been recording videos all day. Rena was here today and we made a video for an upcoming blog hop and video hop that we're part of. So that's coming up soon, and I'll be sharing with that with you probably later on this month. But let's get right into it and take a look at the master layouts for die set. So this die set comes with all of these amazing pieces. It's got this large scalloped rectangle and these flags that nest together, hearts that nest together, this fun postage stamp, some strips for strip sentiments, and 3 button designs. So what we're going to do is, sorry if we have some weird stuff on the screen there. Tom fixed it. Yay. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to play with the hearts, and we're also going to play with the postage stamp, because a lot of you, when I introduced this set, said, I really want to see a way that I can use this. So I'm going to take these 2 dies, and I'm also going to take these strip sentiments, because I'll probably want to do something with those. And I'm also going to use this one tonight too. We'll put these away for another time, and we're going to be making some buttons another time as well. So to get started tonight, I thought I would do something fun with the hearts, and I would create a rainbow effect. So I have a bunch of cardstock here in different rainbow colors. I'll tell you the colors that I have, and then I will share them also in the description over on YouTube. And you can always find all the colors and stamp sets and die sets and everything that I use if you check the description on the video over on YouTube. But I'll just tell you the colors if you're playing along. I'm using Red Velvet, Tangerine Twist, Wild Dandelion, Jelly Bean Green, Turquoise Sea, and Wild Lilac. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start first by cutting each of these in half. Now, I could have had this prepped ahead of time, but honestly, I mean, this is part of the technique. So I did want to be able to do this with all of you. So I'm just cutting all of these in half, and I'm doing that so that I can save the other half for card bases. We might even need some of those tonight. Okay. And then I'm going to create some strips of color. And I think that's going to be really fun. And then I'm going to show you a fun way to use the 2 heart dies together, and not in the traditional way that I usually use these layering dies together. Normally I would cut the double stitched one out in white, and then I would cut the plain one out in black, and then I would layer them together and get that fun little shadow edge. But I'm going to do something different tonight. All right, so I'm going to start with the red, and I'm going to cut a couple of, let's see here. Let's take this down to just the 6-inch mark since I have a small paper cutter. You guys don't have to do this if you have a big paper cutter. And I'm going to cut some 1/4 inch, maybe I'll go 3/4 inch. That's a good size. Ooh, that's going to be hard to do, but not really. Let's see. So that's a 1/2 inch and 3/4. I'm just kind of working my way down and cutting 3/4 inch strips of red. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's not right. They're not 3/4 inch. They're 3. How big are these, Tom? Do you know? They are 3/8 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch would be very big. These are 3/8 of an inch. So that's pretty easy to do. You just kind of go down 3 little ticks on your paper cutter. 1, 2, 3, and I think probably 4 will be enough. I'll do more if I need them. So that's the first color. Now I'm going to do some of the Tangerine Twist. We'll get those started. So 1, 2, 3. I'll go down to that. I'm just going to cut 4 strips of each. I probably don't even need that many. But, you know, the last thing in the world you want to do is be in the middle of working on something like this and then realize that you need 1 more of each color. That's kind of a pain. And what's good about this technique is you can use a half a sheet of cardstock and cut these all down, and you're going to be able to make multiple cards if you want. And this technique is not limited to the heart dies that I'm using. You'll see how easy this is, and you might have other die shapes in your collection that you want to use for this technique as well. This would look cool with circles, like smaller circles. It would look cool with squares, all kinds of things. So, and as you guys are coming in, I just want to say welcome. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope you all had a good week. We had a good weekend. That's what I should say, a good weekend. We had a good weekend. We started off, you know, not expecting that much snow. And then when the snow came, I don't know, it was kind of fun. Maybe not for Tom, though, because he had to go out and use the snow blower. So how are you feeling, Tom?
I am just wonderful tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. Tom has been moving a lot of inventory around. My understanding is we recently got a shipment of ink that should be going in pretty soon. So for those of you who have been waiting for ink pads to come back in stock, we will be getting some of those soon. I don't know exactly when, but because it takes a while to check all that stuff in and count it, make sure we got everything. That was the Turquoise Sea, but that will be coming in soon. So, oh yeah, Michigan got hit. I know even like stores that never close were closed. So usually in Wisconsin, we don't worry about 9 inches of snow, but I don't know. I think everybody's getting a little soft being at home. Okay, so here are my colors. I've got the red, the tangerine, and I want to have them in order that I'm going to use them. And that's rainbow order. So if you're not sure of rainbow order, just follow along with what I'm doing here and you will have rainbow cards. Now, what we're going to do on this card is we are going to place the strips down the card and we're going to work our way down and then back. And that's how we're going to get that really cool look. All right, and I'm going to cut a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, of white cardstock here. So I'm going to cut that to 5.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut it to 4 1/4 inches. So I don't need to do this entire card, but I'm going to do a lot of it. I'm going to get some tape and some scissors. So I have some scissors here. These are Tim Holtz scissors. I have so many of Tim's scissors. I'm not going to use those, though. I'm going to use these little fancy ones in this little case. The difference with his scissors that come in this little case, these are not serrated. These kinds of scissors have that serrated edge. So they're both great, but I use them for different things. Okay. So I'm going to use these, and I'm going to start, I'm just going to cut one of these in half because I don't need the whole thing. And I'm just going to start down here. Now, why am I starting down here? Because I'm actually going to cut a heart, okay? So I don't need to start too far up my card because all you're going to see is what's under that heart, all right? So I'm not going to go all the way to the corner. So I'll just put that here. I'll start there. Let's move that a little bit and make it a little more on an angle. And then I'm going to add a tangerine one. And I'm just going to butt it right up against there. Okay. And I can cut all this extra stuff off when I'm done. going to add a wild dandelion one. Okay, there we go. You can see I'm just putting them up tight against each other. This is also a fantastic technique to do if you have a lot of leftover strips of cardstock or you have a lot of leftover strips of pattern paper. This is wild when you do it with pattern paper, so definitely try that. You see, I'm not worried too much about it going to the ends because remember, I'm going to be cutting this out, so I just need this to be within that heart area. And if you're not sure, just place the die on there again and double check it. Okay. There we go. Purple. So we've got that rainbow. Now we're going to go backwards. We're going to go, I guess we could start over again. Let's see how that would look. Yeah, let's start over again. I think it would be fun. It'll be more fun. You'll see more colors that way. So we'll start over again with red. I feel like Laura Basson here with all my rainbows. If you guys don't know who Laura is, make sure you check out Laura Basson's YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is Laura Fedora, and she is the Rainbow Queen. So I am channeling my inner Laura Fedora. Okay. I've been making a lot of rainbow cards lately. But who doesn't love a rainbow? I love a rainbow. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I probably don't need to go any more than that because I'm going to kind of keep this up near the top of the card. So let's do one more just in case I shift a little bit. I've been known to be shifty in my card making, so... Okay, so now we've got that strip thing going. Now I'm going to get my paper cutter and I am going to cut off all of those loose edges. Now I can't really butt my paper up to the top here, so I'm just going to make sure that this side is kind of flush. And then now I can go ahead and put that up against the top. Cut all the extras off. Well, I'm kind of stuck here because of my tape. I went a little wild with the tape. And we'll get rid of this on this side. We just have a few little ends. And that just cleans it up and makes it a little bit easier to handle. Okay, so now I think I'm going to cut this down a little bit more. So this is going to, yeah, see, I want it to come down a little bit more. I'm glad I've got a little bit of that green in there. Well, maybe I don't need it. We'll see. But I'm going to cut this down just a little bit more because this is going to go on top. Maybe, no. All right, let's cut this out just a little bit more. So this is 4 1/4. We're going to take it down to 4 inches. So I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of this side. I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of the other side and make it a 4 inch. Okay. Then I'm going to we're going to make this 5 1/4. So I'm going to go and take 1/8 of an inch off there and 1/8 of an inch off here. Okay. There we go. Now I could cut that down a little bit more. Maybe I'll do that. I know, I'm just cutting it, but see, it's like bangs. You can't just cut. You got to think about what you're doing. So let's do 1 more 1/8 of an inch off of each side. Now I'm going to be really glad that I made it longer. Okay. I'll take more of it off of this side. So I'm going to take this down to 5 inches. I'm going to do both sides off of the bottom. Okay, so now this measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, which is a size I really like. That was a lot, but you guys get it, right? It's better to measure twice or 3 or 10 times than to cut it wrong once. All right, so now we're going to need another piece of cardstock. And this cardstock is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So we'll do 4 by 5 1/4. And now we are going to cut a heart out of this piece of white cardstock. So let me get my die cutting machine. Welcome everybody who's joining us this evening. It's always so great to see all of you. Okay, so I'm going to decide now where I want my heart to be on my card. So what I'm thinking is if I have it up here, then I'm going to have room at the bottom because I'd like to use the Love and Shadow die from our layering stencil bundle. And I think the love would be really pretty coming up on the heart like that. Can you guys see that? I'm kind of low there. Coming up and then a little strip sentiment at the bottom. So let's see how this looks. I might be too high up on the cardstock, but I can always go back and add another strip up here if I need it. I was trying to avoid that, but you know, it doesn't always work out perfectly, especially when you're live. Okay, that looks good. My heart looks straight. And if you're concerned, you can always put some purple tape on it to tape it down. And we're going to send that through. Okay. Yeah, rainbows are so fun. All right, so let's check it and see how it looks. Yep, I'm going to need one more strip. You knew that would happen though, right? Or I could just bump it down a little bit. How about if I bump it down like that? Isn't that pretty? I love that. So cute. Now here's my little trick. So I'm going to take a piece of black cardstock. I have a piece. Let me grab it. Okay, so I'm going to take a little piece of black cardstock and I'm going to use this die. Now, this is the coordinating die to that heart. Remember, the heart, the plain heart is 1/8 of an inch bigger than this stitched heart. So I am going to take this heart and I'm going to cut it out using black. Now, normally I do the opposite. I cut the bigger heart in black. But this time, I'm going to make a frame that's on the inside of the heart, if that makes sense, okay? So here's my little piece. And what I'm going to do, let me show you this. Let me get this out of the way so you can see this better. We can pull the die cutting machine back in a second. Let me zoom in too. I've got all kinds of stuff going on here all over. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these two hearts together. See that? And that makes a little, let me get a piece of white cardstock so you can see it better. See how it makes a little black frame in there? Isn't that cute? So that's kind of using those two heart dies in the opposite way. Instead of doing the layers together like this, like you normally would, you're doing them opposite to create the opposite cutouts. So that is a fun way to use it. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Corin. I see some of my YouTube friends, my friends that also make YouTube videos. How are you guys tonight? Good to see you. All right, now I'm going to put a little bit of tape real close here, like that. And then I'm going to tape it all together. That's going to hang over the edge, but I'm going to cut that off. Okay. All right, so you just want to kind of take your time and position it because, you know, you're kind of looking at the whole thing at one time to try to get it straight. But it's really no different than putting a back panel on, right? You're still trying to line up all the sides so that they're even. And I see I need my mono sand eraser because I already got something on the front of my card. Now, if you wanted to be extra fancy at this point, you could lay a stencil on top of this and do a little light stenciling, or you can run it through an embossing folder and give it some texture. But we're going to go with just plain today because I'm a little plain. Maybe I should. Should I do that? Definitely want to have time to get to the other ones. So maybe I should hold off on that. I'm going to cut this little edge off of black at the bottom. Here we go. And now you can see that that just makes it pop a little bit more, you know? You normally see just the open heart, but when you add that black, look at that extra pop that you get. Isn't that fun? Okay. And I'm a little afraid to do something like have a full-blown, I don't know. You know what? It does need something. I am going to do an embossing folder. You guys know I think like on the fly, right? I have no plan except a vague idea of what I'm going to do. And vague idea is an overstatement, really. So let's back out here, and we're going to do just the Swiss dot embossing folder just to give it a little something. So I always forget how to emboss with my Spellbinders machine, but I think you don't use the clear plates. You just use this plate, and then you put the embossing folder in. So this is the Cuttlebug Swiss dot embossing folder. I know this one is discontinued, but I'm sure there are people out there that have a Swiss dot folder. And like I told you guys, part of our plan in 2021 is to do our own embossing folders. And you guys know how much I love this, and it's not available anymore. So I'm going to have to do some sort of dot folder. Oh my gosh. Sorry, that just like shot my microphone across the room. Did that really bang in your ear, Tom? I'm sorry. Okay, so you can see that just gives it a little bit fun texture, right? Guys like that? I like it a little better. Yes, Jennifer, embossing folders are coming. I promise. Yeah, I know. This one was like the first embossing folder I ever bought. I've had it forever. And even though they don't make it anymore, I can't let it go. Okay, so now we can attach this together. So let's do that. Now you could, if you wanted, use foam tape and, you know, give it a little dimension. Should we do that? If we're going to do that, I'm going to put one more strip up here. So I'm going to put the purple up here. And I know that normally doesn't go right next to red, but it would match the other one too. So let me do that. This way I can pop it up a little bit. I'll just cut this one with scissors. There we go. Okay. Now, I think I'll use, yeah, see, that's going to be cute to pop it up with foam tape. All right, let's do that. So the way I'm going to do the foam tape, should I do foam tape or foam squares? I'll do foam squares. Now, I should, the reason why I'm doing foam squares and not foam tape is because this is really thin here, and I can work around it a little better with foam squares. So we'll put a foam square there. We'll put one there. I'm going to use a lot of foam squares here, but that's all right. That's why we have them, to use them to make pretty cards. I'm looking at the time. I have plenty of time to make postage ones. I think we're going to do it anyway. And I'm going to add one here and one here just so it doesn't sink too much. Do you know what I'm saying? If you don't have it in there, it kind of like swoops down. So I know they don't make the Cuttlebug machine anymore. That's so sad. But I really like my Spellbinders machine that I'm using. It's a great machine. If you like an electric machine, not an electronic is like the Scan and Cut or a Cricut. An electric machine is a machine that just grabs onto the plates and pulls them through for you. The machine that I have is the Gemini, and I really like that one too. Somebody asked me to use it in a video, and I definitely can do that in an upcoming live video. It's just a little noisy, and it's a little heavy. So I kind of have it like situated across the room, not really across the room, but across the island. And, you know, I'll have to move it in and out of the way, but I will do it. I will do it. I'll do it for you. Okay. So I'm going to lay this down here, make sure that I get enough of that purple in there. Ooh, I wasn't ready. It doesn't know that, though, that I wasn't ready. I'm still not ready. You know what? I'm cutting a little more off the bottom here so I can position this the way I want. So feel free to trim up this panel as much as you want. As long as you don't cut it into where the heart's going to go, you won't have a problem. Okay. There we go. All righty. Okay, so that gives it a little bit of dimension. Can you use your foil in the embossing folder? Ooh, yeah, I bet you could, but if you do that, you would want to put it on something first, like use some toner paper and get the foil on there first, This way it's stiff because the foil is so thin that I don't think it would take the embossed image by itself. Okay, so now we need a card base. Anybody have any suggestions of which one of these colors I should use for the card base? I'm going to suggest myself Jelly Bean Green. And the only reason why is because that's the only color that I see only once. So I feel like it's feeling left out. And if we use that color, that gives us just a little pop. What do you guys think? Somebody agree with me because I really want to use Jelly Bean Green. Yes, Madeline. Thank you. Oh, everybody likes Turquoise Sea and purple and red. Okay, well, I'm sure you guys are right. I'm sure Turquoise Sea. You know what's fun to do too? Out of the blue, just pick a color that's not even in the rainbow, like sea glass. You know, that's kind of fun too. Just pick one that's not in there. Here's what Turquoise Sea looks like. That's pretty too. I gotta admit, that's pretty too. Oh, but all my people are coming to the rescue for me with Jelly Bean. So I'm gonna use Jelly Bean. You guys are probably thinking, no, don't do that. Is that just not bright enough, maybe? All right, maybe we'll go with the Turquoise Sea because I feel like we can see it more. But thank you for all of you that stuck by me and decided to just go with Jelly Bean Green, even if your heart wasn't in it, just to help me out. I appreciate it. I see you. I know you're doing that for me. All right, we'll use Turquoise Sea and we'll put that on there. Now let's cut the love die. I'm going to cut the love die in black so it pops away from all this whiteness that we have. Okay, I'll grab this and then we'll do the love die. And then we're definitely, even if we have to stay a few minutes late, we're doing it. We're doing the second card. I don't care. I'm in. I've made the commitment to be here tonight. All right, so let me get a black piece of cardstock. Now, you guys know when I cut these very intricate dies, I never cut in the center of my die cutting machine. I always cut either off to the left or to the right. You get more pressure when you cut off to the left or to the right. I don't know why that is, but you do. And I always cut them upside down. Even though it's the same amount of pressure, if you do it this way, for some reason, they cut better upside down. So those are two of my die cutting tips for the night. Okay. Yeah, I like red too. You know, any of the colors would really look cute. Let's be honest, right? Any of the colors would look good. So we're just trying to figure it out, right? All right, I'm going to do one more die cutting thing. But I'm going to put this on first. Let me find my craft pick. Here it is. Oh, I have something so cute to show you guys soon too. I'm really excited about a bunch of really good like tool kind of things that we have coming. A tool that you're going to love. It's not necessarily a tool, but it's storage that you're going to love. Okay. So love. Throw that right on there. Maybe down like that. Love. Now, if I cut it in white, we could have put it right on the heart. But I think I'm going to keep it down here. Like that. Love. Love is all you need. And then maybe I'll do a little flag on top of it. So let's do a little flag sentiment. We could do it with turquoise. I've got some turquoise things here already cut. Yeah, let's see what we have. So I like this little set. Sending lots of. Let's do that. Sending lots of. All right, I have a few cut, but they're not going to be the right size. Sending lots of. We could use that one. All right. That's just to save time. Normally, I would take my time and pick the perfect size flag. But I think this will work. So again, with the strip sentiments, I always lay them face down, you know, image side down, and just pick them up with my block. Then they won't get distorted. You know, when you kind of twist them when you're trying to put them on your block. If this doesn't work out, I'll cut one. We'll see how good. I have to get my head in the way. I'm sorry. There we go. Sending lots of. Okay. And put that right going across here like that. Sending lots of love. You guys like that layout? Let's do it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the sides of the flags, one flag. Sending lots of, and center it, and press it down. And then I will use some Connect glue to connect my love to my card. All right, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And then I will glue that down before I post it over on the Facebook group. And I'll also be posting it here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, in my community tab. So you always see the nice crisp photos of the cards here on YouTube as well. Okay, so that is my first card using the Master Layouts 2 die set. And I added the love die. Now you could add a hello, you could add a hugs, whatever you have in your collection. You don't need to run out and buy a special die for it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to play with this postage stamp. So I'm going to start by cutting a postage stamp. I'm going to do them one at a time though, and I'll show you why I'm going to do them one at a time. And I know that sounds cumbersome, but it isn't. Remember, stamping is not a race. Making cards is not a race. We're in it for the process. Did you see where I lose so many things when I'm crafting. So I'm going to start by just cutting one of these, okay? Cut that out. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I guess I didn't have to flip it over. It just drops right out. But I'm going to place it back into the die again, okay? Like that. Alrighty. So again, doing these one at a time. This is really in the way. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of sea glass ink. And I have a turquoise brush here, but I think it's got some Turquoise Sea on it. So I'm just going to rub the excess off. Now, I want to make sure that this stays in place. So if you have to tape it, that's fine. But if not, you can just really hold it down well, like this, with your fingers. And then I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to add a little bit of, this is sea glass. I think I said Turquoise Sea, but I'm going to add a little bit of sea glass in here. Just like that. And you see how that creates that perfect little shadow in there. So that's easy. That's an easy way to get a little shading in there without having to mask it all off. So we'll do that one. Now I'm going to cut another one. And that's why I have to do them. Well, I guess I don't have to do them one at a time. Why am I being like that? I don't have to do them one at a time. I can just stick them back in. Oh. All right. I'm going to cut the other 3 out right now. It's got a little ink on it, but I just rubbed it on my black leggings. So that's probably fine. I'll cut these all out and then we'll go back and add the shading. See, I thought it was going to stick in there, but it didn't stick in there. So we have to replace it anyway. We've got to stick it back in. So I'll cut these out real quick. Ooh. And you can do that same technique with any shape die that you have. So if you have an oval die and you want to shade inside that oval, just use the die as your mask. Pop it right back in there. There we go. And you can have that little pre-masked area. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a workout. I won't need to do my weight training today because I've been lifting this die cutting machine up and down so much. Okay. So we're going to pop these back in again. Again, just make sure it's sitting in the right spot. And then Hold it down with your 2 fingers at the bottom. I don't need a lot of ink on here. I just want to create a real light haze. Hold it at the top. Do the same thing again. Now, if you want to get very fancy, you can make each block a different color. You can do one in lilac, you can do one in sea glass, you can do one in a pale yellow and have like a spring thing going. But for this, I'm just going to use all the same color. And again, when I do these lives, I really teach, you know, kind of a technique maybe that's fun to do, but you guys can certainly modify it any way that you want. And one more. What's wrong with Kathy? Kathy, okay? Hi, CZ, what's going on? I'm gonna have to text her, see what's going on. I'm out of the loop. I'm one of those people that does like a quick scan on social media to look at cards and post something, and then I'm back off again. So I don't spend enough time on there. Okay, so there are my 4 little postage stamps. You see how they connect so cute together like that? Doesn't that just look like they're on the sheet? I love it. So cute. Okay, so now here's where we're going to do a little bit of masking. So stamps that I'm going to use is, I'm going to use the new Beautiful Wings stamp set by Melanie Menchinger. And I'm going to use these dragonflies because I think they're really interesting and their wings are kind of cool. There are so many different kinds of stamps that you can use for this. Solid ones are great, but these ones that are a little chunky, but okay, so let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just stamping like I'm all alone. That's not right. Okay, I have this little pack of Post-it notes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mask off just a little bit of this stamp here, this postage stamp, up to the line where I shaded. Okay. Now I'm going to take this dragonfly here, and I'm going to stamp just a portion of it right onto this area. Kathy, you hurt your back? Oh my gosh. No. It's terrible. Do you need me to come up? Take care of you? Okay, I'm going to stamp this one right here, like this. And then I'm going to pull off the Post-it notes. Okay, I'll put that there. Now this one, I'm going to do something on the other side. So I'm going to use the same Post-it note, and I'm going to just go right up against this side here, and same down here. Now I'm going to use a different image because I don't want these to all look the same. So let me clean this one and get a different image. Should we use a really big wing like that? Or should we use a big dragonfly wing like that? Let's use the big dragonfly on this side. Of course, I'll ink up the entire thing because I have bad orientation. I don't know how it's going to look right. Okay. And then we'll just get part of that wing in there. Okay. And once again, we'll pull those Post-it notes off like that. Isn't that pretty? You get the idea? You see what's happening? Arjita, what are you doing awake? My friend Arjita, our beautiful illustrator from India. It's like in the middle of the night over there. Did you have trouble sleeping and you, or did my ding from my live wake you? Now this one, I think I'm going to do, all the sides because I think I want to go right across the center and get some of that fat body in there. But I really used a pale color. It's hard to see. And that's mostly because I'm blocking my own light with my head. All right, let's do like this big one, okay? Let's do that. plenty of time. Nobody's going anywhere. It's bad weather. We're still stuck at home, safe at home. Being positive, we're still safe at home. I haven't used this one yet, so I need to ink it up a little extra. Okay. All right, let me stand on it here. Okay. The We Are Memory Keepers trimmer is not new. It is something we carry in our store. They've been out of stock for a while. And I usually recommend that one and the Tim Holtz paper trimmer, which is the same size, a beautiful paper trimmer by Tonic. And they seem to be a little bit easier to get. Okay, so there we go. There's another little piece. This is kind of fun. All right, so we need one more. Here it is. And I feel like we need another fat, chunky thing. You know what would be really fun to put in here, though? I think a flower. I think we need like one little piece of flower or leaf or something. Let's see. What do I have here? Ooh, I know what I have. Since Argita's here, let's mix in Argita's flower. So let me find it. I have it over here. So this is Argita's new set, and it's called Heartfelt Bouquet. I think we should use this gigantic flower. We'll see how this looks. Okay. Argita, I have a video coming up with this. I know this one sold out really quickly, but we've got a lot more coming, so let's see how this looks. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Here's why I'm not going to use it, and I'll tell you. Design element-wise, this stamp set is unbelievably gorgeous. But I feel like the flower, the lines are very fine compared to the lines of the wings. And I don't want it to be all alone out there looking too skinny. Do you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to have to go back to a dragonfly. I think I'm going to have to stick with that theme. I am so sorry. I really wanted that to work, but I feel like it wouldn't have been what we were looking for. But Argita, I have a video coming up with your set soon too. I haven't done a coloring video in a while, and I really want to do one. All right, so I'm going to use this tiny little dragonfly. So I'm going to put half of them down here, like that. And then I'm going to put part of him up here. Let me see. Do I have another one? Oh, there's another one. I'm going to get, there's so many in this set. Am I driving you guys nuts with my changing my mind every 5 minutes? But this is the way I think. This is the way I got to do this little one. This is the way I stamp. So it's coming out of my head and out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So there, those two little guys are kind of passing each other in flight. Okay. There we go. Look at my hands. Trying very hard not to ruin my work here with my dirty hands. Normally about now, if I wasn't with you guys, I would just leave and go wash my hands. I think I have a clean, tidy towel in here, though. We'll deal with it. Okay, so now we're going to put this all together on a card. Let's put it all together. So I'm going to cut another panel that is... let's measure these two together and see how big they are. I kind of like them when they're touching, although if you want to spread them out just a little bit, that's a nice look too. So let's just see. So we've got like 3.5 inches across. So if I make this white card, I could do a different color too. Let's do sea glass. I'll use this piece of sea glass here. We'll take this 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And let's see how this looks. So if we space these out on the top, yes, and we give them just a little space between them. We do the same thing down here and space that out. we could do a strip sentiment right down here at the bottom. Okay. So I'm not 100% sold on the sea glass. If I had more time, I might try some different layouts. But what I want you to do is, once you've laid it out and it looks perfect, leave it like that and then adhere them one at a time so you can make sure that they stay where they're supposed to be. It's kind of hard to just wing it by only putting one down at a time, if that makes sense. All right. So make sure that's straight. Looks pretty straight. Okay. Now this one, we know we can put this one next because we just have to make sure that it's even on the side. And when I say that, I mean it's got the same amount of space on this side as it has on this side, and that it is straight so that it's lining up top and bottom. That looks pretty good, right? Does that look good? Let's take a look at that from my view. I feel like I could just tweak it a little. There we go. Okay. Now, I know, honey, we need a lot of things back in stock. You're not the only one. We are at the mercy of our suppliers right now. And our suppliers are manufacturing things as quickly as they can, but one of their big problems is that a lot of the stuff that they need to manufacture our products, they can't get. So for example, you know, if they're making clear stamps, they might have enough time and manpower to make them, but they don't have enough photopolymer to make them, and they're waiting on photopolymer to come back in stock. So it's just a big mess out there, and I really apologize. I know it's frustrating. Okay, so now we have that, like that, and I'm going to outline it with a little piece of black cardstock. So let's grab a piece here and just see if it's my luck that it's already cut to the right size. I felt like it could be, but no. But I was wrong. All right. Let me see if I can find another one. Maybe I cut this one wrong. Yeah, I think I may have cut this not perfect. But anyway, Tom, can you reach in there and grab me a, never mind, I got it. I got it. Here's a piece. So we're going to check this again and make sure that this is cut to the right size. You might want to trim a little bit off this one side, just a tiny bit. 3 3/4 by 5. So now we want to make this one 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And if you don't like cutting that measurement, the Master Layouts 1 die set has both of those cuts available. All right, and we will adhere that together. See how that black, you know me, the black always just makes everything pop. Okay. Here we go. Now, my opinion is this needs to go on a white card base. And tonight, I don't think that's going to be up for debate because I just can't see it on anything else. I think it just has to be on white, right? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Goodbye, Kawhi, or whatever your name is. Sent him into outer space. Okay. I don't know what it is with all the spammers coming in. Okay, there we go. Now, do we go back to the love theme? I have the love here because I didn't put it on there. Do we do a love? No. I think all we need is a little strip sentiment going across the bottom. And that could be, I think it has to be in white. So that's what we'll do. We'll do a white strip sentiment going across the bottom here. And it can just be something very simple. So what are we going to say? And what stamp set am I going to use? Ooh, you know what? I should just stamp right on here and use our new incentive set. So if you guys haven't seen this new incentive set, this is the new one. It's the tulips, the spring tulips, and it has, hope you have a great birthday. Thank you for being there for me. Your friendship means so much, and you're in my thoughts and prayers. I feel like this actually would make a very elegant and sweet sympathy card. So how wide were the strips of color on the last card? They were just a half sheet of cardstock Just a regular half sheet of cardstock. So they measure 5.5 inches by 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I think You're in My Thoughts and Prayers would be a really nice one. And then I'll have this. I hate making sympathy cards. I know you guys all feel the same way. I mean, who wants to make a sympathy card, right? Nobody. Nobody wants to need to make one. So I think that when you're not making sympathy, like when you don't need a sympathy card, that's the right time to make a few. Have them in your collection, ready to go. And then when you need one, you don't have to try to find a way to be creative in that time. So I will put this aside. I'm going to stick the whole card in here, and I'm going to use You're in My Thoughts and Prayers. Get that right down there at the bottom. It's just like the perfect size for this. It's exactly what it needs. Hopefully it'll be straight. And we'll pick that up with the Misty. Looks pretty straight. I don't know, is that curling up? I have a little issue sometimes with strip sentiments, but we're going to make it work. I'm going to use an ink cube to ink this up too. I know I'm really close to the screen right now. I'm going to use an ink cube. I like to use the ink cubes to ink up these tiny little strip sentiments. Okay. And here we go. Just use my finger going across. There we go. Oh, that's so elegant. Isn't that pretty? It's so fun. I mean, not fun because it's a sympathy card, but you guys know what I mean. The layout is fun. And it could be used to make a fun birthday card, and you can use flowers and you can color the images. So you don't have to kind of stick to this more monochromatic feel like I did. Okay. All right. So let me get both of these cards. I can't believe that I got done a little before 8 o'clock with 2 cards. I did not expect to do that. So let me get my stuff out of the way here. Maybe I would have time to glue this on. I think I will do that now. So I'm going to use just a piece of scrap paper here. And when I adhere this really skinny love die, instead of trying to get glue all over the back of it, what I do is I squirt out some Connect glue. And then I just take my finger and I dip it in the glue. And then I just touch the die cut with my gluey finger. It does make it easier. The glue isn't as thick. It doesn't really ooze out this way. If you do get any on the front, don't worry about it because the glue goes on white, but it dries clear and you won't have any trouble at all. Once it's dry, you won't see it at all. So move that down just a little bit. What's cool about that is you can kind of bend that to do exactly what you want. Like if you want to stretch it a little bit, you can kind of manipulate it because it's so thin. There we go. Okay, so sending lots of love. There's my one card. Let me back out just a bit. I know I'm really close. It's my one card, and then here is my postage stamp card. So 2 different ways to use the brand new Master Layouts 4 die set. It really is a great die set, and you can mix and match it with all our other Master Layout sets and get great combinations for really super fun card layouts. That was fun, you guys. I hope you guys had a good time. I sure did. So I know I haven't been doing quotes for a while, and I don't even have a quote ready for tonight, but I'm going to get back into that starting on Thursday with our lunchtime live. I'll be back into doing the quotes again. We just got hit with all these brand new things, and I've been so focused on playing with the new stuff that I haven't really even thought much about that. But I will get back to that because I know a lot of you like it. All right, you guys. Well, I will be back on Thursday at lunchtime. It's noon Central Time, so you can kind of do the math and check. Also, I wanted you guys to know is if your computer time is set right, if you look at the bottom of your computer and your time is set right, both on Facebook and YouTube, it should tell you the time that I'm on in your region. It should say, 5 o'clock if you're Pacific time, or it should say 1 o'clock if you're on well, 5 o'clock at night on our Monday nights, and like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on our Thursday lunchtime ones. It should tell you your time. But I will be on Thursday at 12 o'clock Central Time with another fun live. In the meantime, you guys, please stay safe, stay healthy out there. I love you all so very, very much, and I'll see you again real soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.